Welcome back to the Museum Roadshow and the continuing story of Valhalla Resort on Island Lake. And we have with us Norma Jean Grodenus. And so we're going to continue these interesting stories. Now, we left it with the parents meeting in World War I in the hospitals. Both of them immigrants from Norway and Sweden. And they were so brave as to start up a resort in the beginning of the Depression. Tell us what stories you've heard about starting up and how they had to make do, and was there electricity at that time?
There was no electricity then, no, so that was, you know, something that was rather difficult to be without. Electricity didn't come here until in the early 50s.
Okay.
1950.
So they hauled the water, did all
and
of
all
that.
the laundry, the sheets. I don't know how they did it all.
No.
And they even cooked for, she even cooked for people and gave them meals.
I don't know if we could do that today.
No, I couldn't. I'm not a real good cook, so.
Oh, you are too. What about, how did they use the lake? Did people fish?
It was very good fishing, and it still is a good fishing lake. It's known for good walleye fishing.
That's what I've heard. I have never eaten one out of there.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, there's a difference between Island Lake walleye and other lakes walleye.
Oh, really? That's good. Okay.
Oh, so.
Was there a lot of winter fishing?
And there still is a lot of winter fishing.
There is.
I don't know. Yeah, there was back in the 60s, 50s and 60s, all through.
Well, I imagine you also cut ice, harvested ice.
They did that for all of the cabins. The refrigeration for the cabins had to be the ice taken from the lake.
Okay.
And we had an ice house that they used sawdust to cover all of the ice and preserve it all through the summer.
It's amazing, isn't it? Do you have any interesting stories? I think you mentioned Dr. Long.
Dr. Long, they had the number 8 cabin for many years. He had it for 30+ years, and he when the electricity came, he did not want to get an electric refrigerator. He wanted the ice from the lake to put in his ice box for his refrigeration. So Lynn had to keep ice up for just him.
You had to go out and cut the ice just for him? I mean, that is accommodating, isn't it?
They did. I think that's the reason people keep coming back, because we like to take care of our people.
Yeah, how long have some of them stayed? What's the record? You were mentioning, you know.
We have one doctor from Chicago that came 40+ years.
Okay.
And at last he had to use the train to come up. And so he would come to Detroit Lakes in the middle of the morning, and Lynn would go and pick him up and bring him back to the resort. And he usually had his evening meal with us.
Okay.
So, and then we have other people from Indiana that have been coming since back in the 50s, and they third and fourth generations are coming.
It's sort of like really a family resort, isn't it?
It is.
What about you mentioned something about Delta?
Oh,
the pilots?
Delta pilots come. There were 4 of them that first started coming, and this is their 36th year.
Really?
They will be here. This summer will be.
What do they do when people do when they come?
The Delta pilots like to bird watch.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
And they hike. They go every day. They hike probably 4 or 5 miles. But most of our people are fishermen.
Okay.
They love to fish.
They like to fish. And maybe just relax.
Swim. The last few years, I think people are more interested in relaxing, and the fishing is good, but if they don't catch fish, they don't care.
Okay.
They just like being at the lake and enjoying.
Yeah.
One lady wrote in our journal, she said, at the end, she said, there's peace and quiet, and we are close to God here.
Well, how nice. How very nice.
So.
Well, you must just sit and think about all these stories at times about the people, and it's so good to welcome back. Now, you have a family, too. Are they involved in running the resort?
All of my children are, except the youngest daughter. She has a little trailer that she comes on weekends and enjoys. But Stephen, our son, has taken over Lynn's part of the work, and my other two daughters are here often. Tammy is here often, almost every weekend that she can be. She's with me.
That's good. Well, this has really been fun. We didn't even. I'll just mention. I'm going to throw out this one thing about Tilly, who's buried up there, and on her tombstone at Emmanuel Cemetery, it says the world's champion bicyclist.
She was a world champion bicycle racer in 1895 to 1902, and she was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2000.
Oh, really? And her name is?
Her name is Tilly Anderson Schoberg. She is my husband Len's aunt, his mother's sister. And she has had a cabin here that she built in 1924. And she lived in Chicago, but she came back here every summer.
Okay.
To be here at the lake.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing these stories. It's so much fun. I can just sit and visit with you all the time, all day.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to TV3.